One is Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So I just came across the most bizarre video that I've seen in a while. I've been sitting here laughing my ass over it. Loretta Lynch, Attorney General that was in Obama's term after Eric Holder left, comes out with this video that's just look.
I know that this is a time of great fear and uncertainty for so many people. I know it's a time of concern for people who see our rights being assailed, being trampled on, and even being rolled back. I know that this is difficult, but I remind you that this has never been easy. We have always had to work to move this country forward to achieve the great ideals of our founding fathers. And it has been people, individuals, who have banded together, ordinary people, who simply saw what needed to be done and came together and supported those ideals, who have made the difference. They've marched, they've bled. Yes, some of them have died. This is hard. Every good thing is. We have done this before, we can do this again.
I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. She's being so emphatic. And she's just going in. They're taking our rights. They're rolling us back. This is hard. This is hard. Some of us have to die, man. Some of us have to die. Wait a minute. I have to roll this back. I'm sorry. This is awesome.
I know that this is a time of great fear and uncertainty for so many people.
Alright, that's true. This is a great time of fear and uncertainty. Fair enough.
You know, it's a time of concern for people who see our rights being assailed, being trampled on, and even being rolled back.
Wait a minute. You don't get to say that. She doesn't get to say that. Because Donald Trump hasn't taken any of her rights. Nobody's. Now, you can make a case that illegal immigrants, yeah, fair enough. I hate those fucking deportations. But that's not taking Loretta Lynch's rights. Loretta Lynch has the same rights that she had before Trump. As she had before Trump. And beyond that, your president signed the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, giving him the right and asserted that right to be able to lock up indefinitely American citizens. That's a right that was taken away. You know, freedom to actually get in front of a judge and make your case. That's actual freedom that was taken away by your guy, your boss, the guys you were in his administration. Using military on home soil. Again, that was your guy. Prosecuting people under the Espionage Act for releasing information that's true, showing government corruption, fraud, or abuse. When Snowden released all that information about massive surveillance all across the United States, unaccounted for, massive surveillance that was against the law. By definition, he's a whistleblower. He's releasing information that was illegal behavior by the U.S. government. He had to go to fucking Russia in order to get away from Obama's prosecution. Manning, been in prison for years for releasing a video showing a Reuters agent, in addition to a bunch of other people, getting gunned down by an airship, with the guy on the airships laughing and joking about doing it. That's your guy was doing that was locking down the press. If I'm not mistaken, I remember a particular point where they had bugged the press or something. That is amazing. They just... Look, I was in a jovial mood laughing at this, but it's like... And maybe I'm naive. I would expect that when somebody comes out and they say something, there's some level of consistency to the things that they're saying. How do you be in a previous administration that behaves in that way against civil liberties and then come out like a goddamn hostage talking about, they're trying to take our rights. They're going to take our rights. We got to man up. We got to man up. This is insane. It's absolutely insane. I don't like Donald Trump either. But you've lost none of your rights. And I wish you would have had this, whatever this is, in the Obama administration when he passed that shit. You could have made one of these videos and sent it to him. Come on.
I know that this is difficult, but I remind you that this has never been easy.
What is this? What is this? Define this. I don't know what that is. This is difficult. Okay, explain to me what this is and maybe I can get to the next part. I don't know what you're saying right now. Look, they're doing this for a reason. This is whatever you want this to be. That's why. If they define it, if they say this is what it is, then you can look at it and evaluate it for what it is. By saying this, they're putting this fear language up in the air and then giving it modifiers that you yourself can fill with information. If you think you're a feminist, this could mean an assault on women's rights. If you're a gay man, that could be assault on homosexuality. They're allowing you to fill it with whatever you want so you can feel like part of the collective. They don't necessarily have to define what they're talking about. It's duplicitous. It's gross on so many levels. So they're playing up fear, which bothers me. Yeah, they're playing up fear. That's dangerous.
We have always had to work to move this country forward to achieve the great ideals of our founding fathers. And that has been people, individuals who have banded together, ordinary people who simply saw what needed to be done and came together and supported those ideals, who have made the difference. They've marched, they've bled. Yes, some of them have died.
Wow. That's heavy, man. She said they saw what needed to be done and came together, and some of them bled. All right, I agree with you that during civil rights marches, things were absolutely bad and people were getting killed and people were getting beat. I would even agree with you, these police homicides. Totally. But what on earth is, I don't know what that relates to. Like, she's saying this with this heavy thing, like, we might have to die, man. We might have to die. We're gonna have to fight for our rights again. Are you all ready? You ready? You ready? Let's go. Like, she's getting so pumped up over this, and I have no idea what she's talking about at all. And I made the point before that her administration, the president that she was employed by, cracked down on more people than anything anybody else ever did. He expanded Bush's surveillance policies. Oh, this is amazing. It's breathtaking.
This is hard.
What is this? What is this? I don't know what this is. I still don't know what this is.
Every good thing is.
Every good thing is not hard. I mean, in fact, I make the case, you can be sitting in the sun. That's the most pleasant thing in the world. And I would say pretty enjoyable.
Done this before, we can do this again.
Again, what is this? I still don't know what this is. I am still in the dark. All I know is this video was getting out this heavy emotional, like, we got a cowboy up. We got a cowboy up. We're gonna have to fight back. You lost an election, dude. That's what happened. You lost an election. Elections have consequences. And if you really cared about winning that election, maybe you should have behaved differently in your last 8 years. And maybe you should have threw more bones out or more questions out to progressives. And maybe not be so goddamn arrogant and cheat Bernie Sanders. You lost an election. It's not Russia. It's not Comey. It's not WikiLeaks. It's you, your shitty performance over the last 8 years, and then the arrogance at the end of it, thinking that people are going to be thankful that dear Hillary takes over away from the bad man Donald Trump. The bad man and Hillary herself Pied Piper up so he can be an opponent. Because in her mind, that's the only guy that they could have potentially beat. And they could not be the reality show host that's orange, and that 80% of the public on the day he was elected said they didn't think he was qualified for the job. And yet they thought he was a better choice than status quo Hillary Clinton. Obama 2.0. If that is not a rejection of the status quo, and not a rejection of the Democratic Party, I don't know what is. Here's our lowest barrier that we've ever put up before in the history of this republic, and the Democrats could not meet the bar. That's what it boils down to. You guys are playing up this fear thing, and you need to put a stop to it. It's absurd. Deal with the issues as they come up. Stop blaming the shit on anything else and blame it on yourself. He's in office because of you. The civil liberties that you're talking about unraveling was put there by your boss. That power that is accrued in the executive branch. You put that in place. That wasn't them. Now you're mad because one of the other parties is going to utilize his devices that you yourself created, or at the very least, you yourself push forward. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. I am perfectly aware of what you guys were doing in that office. I don't give a shit if these other people aren't. And I am going to pin your ass to the wall every time you come out with something crazy like this. You're putting out these fear waves. Like, look, I get it. People are already on in. Because unless you're absolutely blind, you can see some of the things that could potentially happen within the Trump administration. But those things haven't happened. Those things, there's nothing to indicate this level of fear and freaking out that this woman is on the channel trying to get across. Democrats have lost their goddamn minds. One of them out there asked the question whether or not a cyber attack should be considered an act of war. Another one is out there talking about Russia red baiting, like blistering in the mouth, red baiting. Rachel Maddow, who's been on this kick exposing Putin, whatever the hell that means, for months on end now. These people have lost their goddamn minds. They have lost their minds. This is dangerous. I make the case again. These people are already jittery. They're already upset. What you're seeing in the media right now is what's taking place among Democrats. It is. When you run into them, they say crazy stuff like us. They're losing their shit. We're outside that bubble. And because we're outside of the bubble, it just looks absurd. We're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They don't see it. They're in their own channel, their own wavelength. And so to them, this is real. They actually believe this shit. Why do you think they've been out there protesting and beating people up and whatnot? They're losing their goddamn minds. Their understanding of reality has been tweaked so much that that's the bubble they're in. Like, it's I think, and look, even on the election, I felt that way. Like, I was like, oh shit, man, this is horrible. And I remember the first 2 days, I felt off about it. And then at a certain point, though, I became aware. I was like, well, I mean, look at the shit Obama was doing. I mean, if something comes up, fair enough. But at this point, nothing has come up. And if anything, it seems like he's been getting a huge amount of pushback on everything he does. So, no, why am I freaking out? There's nothing that's taking place to impart this amount of fear. Either she's doing this politically for reasons, or she's just lost her goddamn mind and she's terrified. I don't know which one it is. I don't even particularly care. They need to put a stop to this shit, or at the very least have some come to Jesus moment about what that previous administration was. They really do, because they're acting absolutely bonkers. Alright guys, thank you.